that whatever will be giving you a training on, it will be totally on the system. It would be 99% of the time we'll be discussing the issues on system, and how and what will be your role as a consultant, that to Ariba consultant, when you work on any kind of implementation projects. So we are going to cover this from the real-time project perspective, where we will be discussing different scenarios and considering those scenarios, what steps you need to take, and how to proceed further, and what will be your roles and responsibilities as a consultant. So that we will be discussing and covering in this training session. So before beginning with this demo session, I would request each one of you to kindly just give a short intro by mentioning your name and what system are you working on? Is it SAP or non-SAP? And uh, are you introduced to Ariba currently, or if yes, then what are you doing, like as an end user or as a consultant you're working on? So one by one, just introduce yourself. So beginning with Anusha, if you are hearing me, can you unmute and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Anusha, and currently I'm working as an automation test engineer for SAP Ariba application only. I just want to move to functional consultant. That's why I have joined in this demo.
Okay. So you're working in Ariba as a application or developer?
Yes, on SAP Ariba application only
Okay,
as a tester.
okay. As a tester. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Raju, can you unmute yourself and introduce? Raju, can you hear me? Okay, I guess he's facing some issue. Meantime, Suchita, can you just unmute yourself and introduce? Suchita, can you hear me? Okay, so anyone who can hear me can unmute yourself and give your introduction. Naga Babu, if you are there. Naga Babu, Imran, Suchita, any one of you? Imran, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah. Can you give your intro, like where are you currently working and which system are you working?
SAP system with the background of consultant.
Your voice is low. You're working as?
Consultant only from past 7 years. So I want to upgrade myself to Ariba. That is the
As a consultant in which system you have worked on SAP?
ECC, S4HANA, S4HANA, cloud, public cloud,
Okay.
all. Yeah.
Okay. That gave me fair idea. Thanks, Imran. Suchita, Nagababu, any one of you, Raju? Okay. You guys are facing some issue. What I'll do, I'll just we'll begin our session. I'll share my screen. I have a short PPT prepared, which I'll introduce to Ariba. Just confirm me once you see my screen. Is my screen visible? Can someone just confirm?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So basically, I'm talking about SAP Ariba, and SAP Ariba is a one-stop procurement solution, and Ariba is actually gaining a lot of attention in the market because it has been a breakthrough technology from procurement perspective, where procurement has not just become a job of few people in an organization, but with SAP Ariba, the procurement activity has been made uh, to the end users, okay, so who don't have even a procurement language. So even a casual user, like if you go to any organization, there are certain people sitting up in the procurement team who does the entire purchasing, sourcing for the entire organization. But with SAP Ariba, the task has been deployed to the end users, where a user, if he has any requirement, for even for a little value product or less value product, he doesn't have to rely on procurement team and wait for him to do the further processing. So that everything is done through Ariba. And now the two topmost regions why Ariba is gaining lot of market share. First, it is a cloud-based platform. So as a cloud-based platform, you don't require any like servers to be kept on-premise systems which were earlier there. So those were limited with the storage systems. But with SAP Ariba, there is no limitation on storage, and the best thing is it can be accessed through a URL link. So if you have a login ID and credentials, just use the link and log in. So it's that easy. And second thing is like SAP Ariba has a total control through the requisitions or the P2P process, what we say, and everything can be controlled as to who can create PRs and how many with contracts has been utilized, how has been the purchasing within the organization. So all that can be maintained, and it is so easy to use that you don't require any training. So even a person who has not been familiar with SAP product earlier, like I have been teaching to the students like who have first time seen SAP system, and they are willing to learn Ariba, and they actually could have a good grasp on Ariba even though they are not from SAP background. Now why that is possible? Because SAP doesn't require any kind of previous system knowledge. It is not mandatory. It is good to have but not necessary to have. So however, Ariba can be learned by any person from any background and get a good opportunity to work in SAP, because here you don't have to remember any T codes or M codes. Like previously, there are certain system where if you want to do any kind of activity in the system, you need to have a 4-digit, 5-digit codes, and with that codes only you could do the further processing. But in SAP Ariba, you don't require any codes. You can straight away use the system on what you see, and just few clicks are required and your entire process is done. So the training cost is also the least here. And the best thing about Ariba is it can be connected with any system. Okay, so that I'm going to show you in a while. But before beginning with SAP Ariba, let us have a little bit history about where it began and how it began. So basically, Ariba was a standalone organization. It was acquired by SAP in 2012. Considering the popularity that Ariba was gaining in the market, especially in the US market, it was gaining a lot of attention. One of the key feature of SAP Ariba, it is having a SAP business network. So just like we have a LinkedIn, on LinkedIn we have both the HRs are there, like job seekers are there, and job providers are there. Both are there, and they both can interact with each other with just a few click and messages. Same way, Ariba has this SAP business network where both buyer and sellers are registered there. And there are millions and millions of buyers across all the globe and suppliers, and anybody can get connected with any supplier. For example, I'm sitting in India and I'm looking for a product which I want to buy in bulk, and that particular supplier is not available in India. Okay, so I can just simply go to SAP Business Network and post my requirement. And seeing that post, anybody within the globe, if the supplier is there, he can respond to me and I can negotiate and finalize the product. Okay, so that is one of the best capability that Ariba has. And considering that SAP acquired Ariba because it made both buyer and supplier a single platform. So definitely the corporates will look for this system because they don't have to go in market and get codes individually or connect them separately. You can just find them directly on a single platform. So it was that easy. So accordingly in 2012 they acquired, and then we have this SAP Ariba system now. Now this SAP Ariba system, it has been undergone lot of changes since 2012. So also every 6 months, SAP tries to include a new feature, and that new features are done to enhance the capability of SAP Ariba. Now, why major corporates are looking for Ariba, even though they are using S4 HANA, ECC, ERP? So one of the major reason is that Ariba can be used by any person. Okay, you like previously S4 HANA, ECC, ERP, so those required a training, and with that training, only few people could use it. The access was given to only few people. But with SAP Ariba, uh, it can be the access can be provided to even a normal user who's sitting in office or who doesn't have any knowledge on how to create requisition. So you can even provide access to him and make it easy for him to create any request, and he can get directly connected with the supplier. So with this what happens is the involvement of procurement team becomes lesser. They are free to do other jobs, and also SAP Ariba can be connected with any previous system. So for example, Wipro has been using like Oracle or S4 HANA since 10 years, and today they decide that they want to go with SAP Ariba. So in that case, they can connect SAP Ariba with whatever system they have been using previously since 10 years, 15 years. And that connection is done through this CIG, Ariba Cloud Integration Gateway. And this CIG, it is a bridge between Ariba system and whatever is your backend system. So what you currently see on screen is a architectural diagram, which which will make you understand that how Ariba system works and how it is connected with other system. So within this dotted line, you see there is a buyer and there is a supplier. So this is an Ariba system, and Ariba system has a buyer separate account and supplier has a separate account. Okay, so buyer has both upstream and downstream. Some advanced features are there with the buyer, and a separate license is required. But for supplier, it is free of cost. So for supplier to create an account on Ariba network, it is just free of cost, and they can just do the entire process, get connected with the buyer. Okay, certain features are available as free, but if they want to use some advanced features, supplier has to pay some fee based upon the orders that they get. But the buyer has to buy a license. The user license has to be provided, and then uh, they can start using it. And this is where the you as a consultant come into picture. So functional consultant job is to make the system capable enough so that they can do the end-to-end activities with the supplier. They can generate PRs, PO, invoices, purchase orders can be submitted, contracts can be created. So this is where your role comes into picture as a Ariba consultant. Okay, this is what we do. And so for example, I was saying that Wipro has been using S4 HANA since 10 years and they want to Ariba to be implemented from today onwards. So in that happens in a step-by-step process where you require functional consultants like us. We come into picture where you have certain client and that client wants to use Ariba, but they cannot immediately start using Ariba. Setups have to be done by functional consultant. There is a technical Ariba consultant who connects this SAP Ariba to the third party system. Popularly it is known as backend system. Like in case of example that I gave, Wipro has been using S4 HANA since 10 years. Now they cannot suddenly go away or do away with the S4 HANA and start using Ariba from tomorrow. It doesn't happen that way. They have to first get all the data from S4 HANA to Ariba, and there are certain capabilities which people are familiar with the earlier systems. So they usually prefer keeping both systems, Ariba as well as S4 HANA. And these two systems, they don't work in silos. They don't work in independent. They are connected using this bridge known as CIG. Now this connection between backend system and Ariba, this is done by a Ariba technical consultant. Okay, so technical consultant does the job of connecting the backend system. It can be SAP, S4 HANA, ERP, Oracle, or whatever system the client is using for many years. So that technical person connects this both system, and once the system is up, data can be transferred from backend to front end to the Ariba, and from Ariba also you can send it to the backend system. So it's a two-way, it's called a highway. Data goes from here to Ariba, and from Ariba also it can be sent to the backend system. So with this, you get the initial data as well. Whatever 10,000, 50,000 suppliers might be there in your earlier system, that all data you can get transferred to Ariba, and also whatever new data that you create in Ariba, to keep a storage of this data, you can post it to the backend system. Okay, so this is where, and this is how actually this Ariba system works. Okay, and supplier, so I said they require a fresh account and they can create an account free of cost. Okay. And there is some background check that happens and your system gets activated. So this is what the architectural diagram of Ariba looks like. Not only to the S4 HANA, ERP, or Oracle, your SAP Ariba can be connected with other SAP products like Fieldglass, Concur. Okay, these are some other SAP products. These are also some cloud-based products which SAP provides. However, if you want to integrate it or connect that systems to Ariba, you can do it through CIG only. Okay. Now, how does SAP Ariba works? Like what is actually there in SAP Ariba? Now, SAP Ariba comes in a package, and this package consists of, like, it can be popularly classified into two types, that is upstream and downstream. Okay. Even though, like, whenever you work in, or whenever you get a call from HR regarding opportunity for Ariba, they first ask you that what experience you have. You have in Ariba upstream or downstream. Now, what is that upstream and downstream that we are going to see? So SAP Ariba upstream is basically a package which includes SLP, supplier management package, which is popularly known as SAP Ariba SLP. Now this SLP stands for supplier lifecycle and performance. Now what do we do with this? With this, whatever suppliers are there in the system and whatever new supplier that you're going to create, you can onboard them using this SLP package. Through this SLP package, you can maintain the entire life of the supplier, right from getting it onboarded, getting him under contract, and sending him the data, sending him the payment and all. All that can be maintained if you have this SLP module. So this comes with a separate cost and a package. Okay. Also, there is a risk assessment which Ariba does. So For example, I have been doing a business with 2 or 3 suppliers, and one of the supplier has been under the scam. A scam has been recognized in that organization. So I accordingly get the risk assessment from the Ariba network team, and I get to see that how risky it is to do a business with such a supplier or with such a history of the supplier. Okay, that is a part of SAP Ariba SLP and risk. Now the second part of upstream is Ariba sourcing. Now, what is Ariba sourcing? Like, for example, now as everybody in the market, you see there is a very big hype for electric bikes, electric scooters. Okay, so initially, what, for example, now Tata decides that they want to start building the electric uh, scooters, seem like Activa or something, but they are doing this for the first time. So certain products they would require, like they would have tires, but they won't have a battery. They don't have any supplier who can give a battery for their scooters. Now electric vehicle, majority of the part works on scooter, the batteries. So now if tomorrow Tata wants to begin their project for electric scooters, they need to find a trustable supplier who can provide them electric batteries at a very negotiable rate, and he should be reliable. He should provide exactly the same battery that what Tata Motors is looking to put forward in their vehicles. So in that case, they can do with sourcing. And with this sourcing, Ariba sourcing, Tata Motors can just post their requirement. Okay, they can invite 1,000, 1,000, 100 suppliers in the market to provide the quotations, and based on these quotations, they can finalize the right supplier. Okay, and this entire process of negotiation, finding the supplier, getting him onboarded on the system, all that can be done through Ariba sourcing. There are different events that you can do, like RFI, RFP, auctions. All that can is covered under SAP Ariba sourcing package. So this is the second module of upstream, and the last module of Ariba upstream is contract management. SAP Ariba contract management. Now, like considering same example, like now Tata has identified a electric battery supplier, and for example ABC Limited, Tata finalized that we are going to purchase every day 100 batteries from ABC supplier. But oral communication is never relied in business, so for that purpose they go in contract. So both Tata Motors and ABC Limited, they'll go in contract, and in that contract they mention the terms and conditions of this business, like daily 100 batteries to be supplied. What if they don't provide a faulty battery? How much penalty? How much bonus? How much payment should be done in how many days? All that is done under contract management. So you actually make an agreement copy under this supplier contract management, and both of them can be involved in this process. And this entire process is a paperless with the help of contract management. Okay, so this is what Ariba contract management does, right from creating an agreement to getting it signatured by both the parties. All can be done through digital system. You don't require any paperwork here. And with this, the upstream module comes to an end. So again, I'm telling you, Ariba upstream consists of SLP, sourcing, and contract management. Now that become upstream. Now what is downstream? Downstream is the other package of Ariba. In that downstream, we have this Ariba buying and invoicing. So the whole and soul of procurement is P2P process, purchase to pay. The full form of P2P is purchase to pay. So whatever we do daily in our life, like on Zomato, Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, we do the same. We just go on Myntra or Flipkart, we order what we require, and uh, order confirmation is done by the supplier. Then supplier gives a shipping notice, a delivery date is confirmed, and then the parcel is delivered to you. So same way this happens in company, and that process is known as P2P. We call it as a shopping in our day-to-day life, but in organizations it happens in a very structured way, and there are documents involved at each and every stage. So that is known as buying and invoicing. So Ariba has a buying and invoicing system through which people can buy whatever products they require for projects. For example, tomorrow in a company, 1,000 new joiners are going to join, and HR team wants to give a laptop for them. So they'll have to wait for procurement team to find the right supplier, and then take negotiate with them and provide a specific laptop. But if they use Ariba buying and invoicing system, they don't have to depend on procurement team. They directly can raise a request on Ariba buying and invoicing, search for the supplier, and directly make a purchase from that particular supplier. And that too, if it is under contract, they can get at a very negotiated price. So the entire P2P process time is very less when you have this buying and invoicing done. Okay. So the settlement is easy, and also there are different catalogs there, non-catalogs are there, through which the purchasing becomes very easy. Okay. So today in market, whatever requirements you get, buying and invoicing is something which there are a lot of roles in the market. However, upstream and downstream, both are both jobs are separate. Like, you will definitely see that certain companies are just looking for Ariba consultant who wants upstream, who just have upstream knowledge, or who just have SLP knowledge or sourcing knowledge. Okay. And for downstream also, there are separate organizations who just want people to know this buying and invoicing process. Okay. So yeah, now in this training we are going to cover both upstream and downstream, so that enhances your job seeking opportunity, because you get eligible for both upstream and downstream job opportunities. So that is what we are going to cover in our syllabus. Now this entire package, like for example, tomorrow Infosys decides that they want to buy Ariba. So Ariba gives them options, like they can either take upstream, they can take downstream separate, or they can just take all the entire package. That entire package is known as Ariba spend management. Okay, so there is a Ariba spend management system which includes both upstream and downstream, or it is also known as Ariba sourcing suite. Okay, or suite integration, which involves both upstream and downstream. Now there is a other tool as well, Ariba commerce automation and supply chain collaboration. This is basically used when you have inventory to be managed and you want a total control. So this is a latest tool which of Ariba, but for this you require a separate license altogether. This is not covered under upstream and downstream. Okay. So this is what I discussed with you, the modules that are there in SAP Ariba: sourcing, P2P, that is buying and invoicing, contract management, supplier management, the collaboration with supplier, reporting. The guided buying is something which is the latest tool. Guided buying is the latest tool provided by Ariba, which can help you do the entire process. So the system is similar to that of Amazon, like any e-commerce platform. Similarly way, you can see this guided by. So I'm going to show you how does it look on screen. So this is what it is included in training, upstream and downstream. Now let me show you on system how does Ariba looks like. Okay, so I just used authentication. Let me just log in. So the one that you see on the top, this is the link of SAP Ariba. So any SAP Ariba account can be accessed through this link, and this is how the system looks like when you log in using your credentials on Ariba. So this is the screen of SAP Ariba or the dashboard of Ariba system. This is the logo that you see here, and whatever modules are discussed like sourcing, contracts, okay, procurement, invoicing, catalog, all that is provided under this system. And here there are certain reports which you can generate on the dashboard, which can be directly be available on your system dashboard. Let me just refresh. Yeah. So I told you about SLP, where it is a supplier management portal. So under this supplier management, whatever 1,000, 2,000 suppliers that you have in your system, as you can see, there are 1,000 supplier currently. So Ariba maintains the account of each and every supplier, and you can get each and every details. So Ariba maintains the data in this fashion, and there is a risk calculation. So you can see that there is a risk getting calculated here. Now this is being done by the system directly from the data that is being captured, and accordingly it tells you the exposure and the level of risk associated. And also you can check how the data is going front end and the back end. So whatever data is going from Ariba to backend system, you can also trace it under this system here. Now let me just show you other system. This is how SLP looks like. And under sourcing, one minute. So these are the different projects that we have done on the system during our training batches. So let me just open it. So these are the different events that we did, which is an sourcing event, RFP event, where we invited suppliers for a specific requirement, and we get the quotes. You can see the quotes, and system automatically nominates the ranking, and it gives the ranking for each of the supplier quotes that you receive, and it suggests you that who is the best among the one who are taking part on this particular system. And it also captures the data in the form of graphs. And this event was specifically for a laptop, where we were trying to get a laptop from two suppliers, and we were doing the bidding system, where the one who quotes the lowest, we will award the contract to that particular supplier. So everything is captured by the system. This charts, it describes in a pictorial form who is the winner of the event and how much is the difference between the two prices that this supplier has provided. And I was talking to you about guided buying. So guided buying is now, as I told you, P2P process, right? Which we do in organizations, where we require any stationery or any laptop to be ordered, or if you have any specific requirement for marketing purpose. So all that can be done through this guided buying. So this is how the guided buying screen looks like. For example, if I want to buy a marker for my whiteboard, I can just simply search for that product here. I'll get the nominations here, like auto suggestion. Now I want marker for whiteboard. So I just click here and it will give me the suggestions of the markers that are there over here. You can see the markers. Also, we have different categories here. Like there is software, different categories there. For spare parts, there is a category. For office stationery, this is a category. I can just click on it, and when I click on any one tile, I'll get the relevant products here. So if I like, as I was looking for a marker, I just need to click on add to cart. This item gets added in my shopping cart at the top, and I just need to check out. When I check out, I just need to give the delivery date and some details, and then my PR is getting created. And also I can make purchase on behalf of someone from my organization by using this request on behalf of. I can also buy on behalf of my entire team by using this option. And whatever, so these are the different products that I have ordered using this Ariba system. You can see the statuses here, the item details here, and the total cost, and the ID of this particular document which I have ordered. So I had ordered this LCD screen, and whenever I create any request, I get this ID here, and I can check who is going to approve my requisitions. And once it is approved, then it gets to the supplier, and supplier can fulfill my order and deliver it. Okay. So this is all about SAP Ariba and the demo for today. Okay. Do you have any doubts on what we discussed right now? You can just, I'm open for any questions from your end. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, yeah. You can ask me questions. I am done with my demo. So I gave a just overview of what we are going to cover in our training sessions and how it will benefit you and how the system actually looks like. So you can
What is
ask
the
me questions on what. Yeah.
duration of training?
So duration of training is 2 months, but we try to cover it before these 2 months based on availability of sometimes uh, availability is a key challenge because weekends someone is available, someone is not available. Based on that schedule, we plan accordingly. So, but I have completed 4 batches, and all the 4 batches we have finished the course in 1.5 months.
Okay. You're covering CIG also in this, right?
See, CIG the implementation part, that is of a technical consultant. Okay, what we are covering in this training is a functional consultant thing. I'm going to show you how CIG looks like, what you do as a functional consultant in CIG. That I'm going to show, but that implementation perspective, that we are not going to cover.
What about the placements and all?
Yeah, placements. I guess Subbu sir is going to take care of that. So you can connect with Subbu sir on placement, Anusha. He can give a better answer on this.
Uh, this training is only on weekends or weekdays also?
So basically, we have like depending upon the availability of time. I am planning to begin initially in the on daily basis. Like daily, we'll connect around a fixed time, morning, around 10 o'clock or something, 10 o'clock, 10:30. And every day we'll try to connect around at least for 1.5 hour or 2 hours. And then uh, afterwards, then we can, when we have just downstream, then we'll plan on weekends, the Saturday, Sunday.
One question buying part I'm
Yeah.
asking. So my system has a backend S4 and I'm using guided buying. So how the process flow will happen? You will teach that on that? Like if I'm using
Yeah,
guided
yeah,
buying,
yeah. Correct.
hmm?
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Like we are going to say that scenario, like if you have S4 HANA in system and you're using guided buying, then the process flow of P2P changes. So you create a PR here, and then that PO once get uh, created, it is sent to backend system. And from backend system, what are the different documents that flows that we are going to discuss. But I cannot show you in on S4 HANA because I don't have that S4 HANA access. Whatever training what we are going to show, it's on Ariba. But
How
I'll
about the
definitely
system?
give you an overview.
You get the system access for this one?
Yeah. Subbu sir is going to provide you access for each and every one, where you can parallelly do the training as well as learning as well.
So in a nutshell, to how to create the templates, then how to get the sourcing templates, SLP templates, contract templates in upstream. Downstream, you'll go for guided buying, and when you have
Guided
S4 and
buying. Wait, let me just clear you. See, upstream, we are going to cover SLP sourcing contracts, the end-to-end demo, plus how to create template, what are the configurations that you have to do in the backend system that we are going to cover. Then in downstream, we are going to cover catalogs, how to prepare catalogs in the system, and guided buying setup. So whatever guided buying I show, how do you set up as a function consultant? What are the different uh, activities that you need to do in order to just make use of that particular guided buying? Because whenever you get fresh license from SAP, most of the things are not there. As a consultant, you have to set up all the end to end. Whatever guided buying I showed you, that I have set up and during one of my training, and that is what I just showcased you. The same way you have to do as a setup and showcase end to end demo to the client. And we are also going to show you CIG, like how data flow happens from the backend system, and how does it reach, where does it reach in CIG, and how you can track it, and also what are the master data. Like in order to use Ariba, you need certain data, like user credentials has to be created, then certain company codes data needs to be pulled in from the backend system. So that all process we are going to cover in the P2P. Yeah, any more doubts? Okay, I consider silence as no doubts. So, but even if you have any doubts, you can reach out to Subbu sir, and Subbu sir can arrange a call with me. On a conference call, we can discuss what are your requirements and do you have any doubts on that. We can connect and discuss on that. Okay, so that's all from my side. Still, if you have any doubts, do let me know. or else you can reach out to Subbu sir. Okay. Okay, thank you guys. See you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you.